Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to start with the, well, you know what? I'm just going to walk one car around. So, so I'm not going back and forth too much. So, all right. So this is where the purple one starts. And let's say that he starts first turn, we'll go to here. Now this is a legal move because he was going speed 0 and now he's gone speed 1. He went from 0 squares per turn to 1 square per turn. And that's in the vertical direction. And on the first, at the starting line, he wasn't moving sideways at all. Again, speed was 0. And on the first turn, he's still going speed 0 sideways. So this is a legal turn, legal move. Okay, second move. Let's say he goes here. Okay. Now, this again is a legal move because on the first turn, he went 1 up. And this turn, he went 2 squares up. That's a change of 1, so that's legal. Now, horizontally, he went 0 squares sideways on this turn. And this turn, he went 1 square sideways. So he changed his speed from 0 to 1 in the sideways, in the sideways direction. And that's okay. Okay, next turn. Let's try going to here. Vertical, he's okay again because he went from speed 2 up to speed 3 up. That's a change of 1, so that's good. And sideways, he went from a speed 0 to the left. I'm sorry, a speed 1 to the left. He went 1 square left to 0 squares left. Stayed on the same line. That's okay. All right, now let's suppose for a second he does this on the next move. Is that a legal move? And the answer is no, it is not. It is not a legal move. And the reason it's not a legal move, we have to go through and look at the vertical and the horizontal to find it. Now, if we look vertical, on this turn, he went 3, and on this turn, he went 2 vertical. He went up 3, and then he went up 2, and that's okay. So he's legal in the vertical direction. But horizontally, he went from a speed of 0 sideways to a speed of 2 sideways. That's a change of 2, and that's not okay. So this is not a legal move. Now, how about this? Okay, now it's an okay move because it went from speed 3 up to speed 2 up. That's okay. And he went from speed 0 sideways to speed 1 sideways, and that's okay. All right, let's look at this. Is this a legal move? Look at it, think about it for a second, pause it if you need to. Okay, the answer is, pause it if you don't want to hear the answer because you're still thinking about it. The answer is yes, this is a legal move. The way we figure that out is on the last turn, he went 2 up, 2 squares up, and this turn he went only 1 square up. That's okay. Sideways, he went 1 square last time. This square, he went 2 squares. Again, that's a change of only 1 sideways, so he's okay. Okay, let's try this. Is that a legal move? Pause it if you're not sure. The answer is yes, it's a legal move. Last time he went 2 squares sideways. This turn he went 3 squares sideways. That's a change of 1. He's okay. Last turn he went 1 square up. And this turn he went 0 squares up. That's a legal move, so that's okay. Okay, how about going to here now? Okay, the answer is no, this is not legal. It's not even close, actually. Okay, when we look horizontal, it went 3 squares sideways last turn, and it only went 1 square sideways this time. That's a change of 2. That's not okay. So he's already out of illegal as far as the horizontal goes. But let's look at the vertical also. Up and down, he went 0 squares up and down last turn, and this time he went 3. That's a change of 3, so that's definitely not good. So this is not a legal move. And when you think about it, this is just not how cars go, because if we kind of connect these, we can see it makes smooth turn all the way around here, all along the track as you go through every dot. And that's the sort of path that a car could follow. But here, all of a sudden, it's changed very abruptly. And the only way a car can change like that is if it runs into something, so in a collision or something like that. So anyway, this move is no good. So what is a good move? How about this? Is this one good? The answer is yes, because from sideways, we went from 3 squares to 2 squares. That's okay. Vertically went from 0 squares to 1 square down. That's okay. Let's go to here. This is legal. This is legal. This is legal. This is legal. This is good. This is good. And that's about right there underneath the A and start. And then we'll go up to here. Okay, so if you follow along, you pause it and watch these, you can see that each one of these is a legal move. All right, because the distance vertically never changes by more than 1, and the distance horizontally never changes by more than 1 either. Now, I want to point out one last thing here before we go to the big race. Every time that I go around a corner here, like in this one, and in this one, and in this one, notice that there are always 2 dots on the same line. Just like there were 2 dots on the same line when we turned around in our drag race. Because there has to be a turn where you're going speed 0, which puts you on the same line, and then you can go speed 1 the opposite direction. And we can see the same thing on this. I was moving this direction, 2 to the side, 1 to the side, 0 to the side, 1 back the other way, and 2 back the other way. So there was always a turn where we had 2 dots on the same line when the horizontal speed, in this case, was 0. Same thing over here. I started off going to the left, and then I swung around and went back to the right. But there was one turn during that turn when there were 2 dots on the same line. Likewise, vertically, when I was bringing it over the top here, I was going up and then brought it down and was coming back down again. But there was one turn where I had 2 dots on the same line. So watch this when you're doing your racing and when you're racing with somebody else. Anytime you make a turn in reverse direction, there has to be 2 dots on the same line. That's a very common error. Okay, so big race. You draw a track, doesn't have to be exactly the same as this one, but just give yourself some room. The rule is that you have your 2 people start on the starting line, like that, and then you take turns. Whoever has the inside path gets to go first, but very often what will happen is one person will swing wide around a turn and barely avoid hitting the wall, and the other person can turn inside and take the lead. And whoever has the lead gets to go first on this. And you do a race all the way around the track. You lose if you hit the wall. You both lose if you both hit the wall. And then you just kind of have to do it again. If you have a track like this, it's very common for students to crash into this wall over here because they go too fast down the straightaway. They try to stay ahead of their opponent and they don't plan ahead, and they find out that they can't slow down. They can't hack the turn and they run into the wall. Okay, now practicing this race a couple times and teaching it to somebody else really will help you understand projectile motion. And the reason is because this exercise forces you to think in 2 directions at the same time, but independently of each other. You have to keep track of how the car is moving up the track and how it is moving across the track. And since they have nothing to do with each other, you kind of have to keep track of them separately, be thinking of 2 things at once. It also shows you this idea, this concept that the vertical motion of the car has nothing to do with the horizontal motion of the car. The horizontal motion can only change by 1 square turn. So it could be moving very slowly sideways, but really fast up and down, or vice versa. On this stretch down here, it might get going really fast sideways, but not be moving up and down hardly at all. So it's the independence of vertical and horizontal motion. That is a concept that carries through to projectiles. Okay, I hope you're able to do this. I hope you're able to do this and have some fun with it. It does pay off, and it's a good thing to do on a rainy day. So thanks for your time, and we will see you next time.